We are very happy to have the mayor of Boca del Rio, Francisco Jose Gutierrez de Velasco Urtaza, here with us today, and some of his staff and some other distinguished business members from the community of Boca del Rio, Mexico. Just to tell you a little bit about the city, I'm sure they are going to do so with the presentation that they've had today, but it's, from what I've learned, that Boca del Rio is a vibrant community in the Veracruz area, that it became an independent municipality from Veracruz, if I understand correctly, in 1988, and congratulations on that, and that it has not only a growing, vibrant business community that is looking forward to the future, but has a very rich history and culture, which we are excited to learn about today. So I would like to turn the time over then to Mayor Urtaza and his staff, and I think we will begin then with the presentation, and afterwards we'll have some folkloric music presented from the state of Veracruz, after which we'll have some question and answer from the audience. Thank you.
Boca del Rio development. Boca del Rio is located in the Gulf of Mexico. This city is full of tradition, culture, entertainment, and businesses, and is synonym to natural beauties, efficient buildings, and insurmountable human warmth. The city is versatile enough to combine the past, full of deeply rooted traditions, and a vibrant present with a great trading future in the international market. In the last few years, Boca del Rio has had an impressive economic growth and an outstanding infrastructure development. The city has become the finance, trading, and tourist hub of the Gulf of Mexico, due mainly to the constant flow of private investors attracted by the commercial growth, social stability, and successful businesses. With all the necessary public services to facilitate finance and human progress, Boca del Rio is perfectly communicated by air, land, and sea. It also has modern telecom facilities, a convention center, a variety of hotels, and direct access to the main world port as a result of its vicinity to the port of Veracruz. All this helps position it as the ideal destination for business and international trade. Concerning Boca del Rio's workforce, it is first class, owing mainly to the high number of technical schools, colleges, and institutes, where students from all over the state come looking for higher education. The city government, as well as the private sector, endorse those educational institutions, keeping in mind the need to provide first-class labor in order to develop the various economic sectors. The strategy has proven to be correct, resulting in a low rate of unemployment and a growing purchasing power. It is worth mentioning that the tourist sector is the one that generates the highest percentage of income to Boca del Rio. Foreign and national visitors can enjoy their vacations with breathtaking views at sunrise, 14 kilometers of beautiful beaches, malls, a cool nightlife with bars and clubs, and attractive urban architecture. As a plus, the ecological reserve of the city shows exclusive gifts from nature: mangrove swamps and its wildlife, the mouth of the river, and the historic Island of Sacrifices. International events can be enjoyed all year long at Boca del Rio. Concerts, conventions, sport events, and of course, Carnival and the traditional Santana Festival. Visitors can dine in a choice of restaurants ranging from typical Mexican to international haute cuisine to seafood delicacies that can satisfy the most demanding patron. We invite you to visit, invest, and take pleasure in the most beautiful and attractive city of our state, to live the excitement and magic of our natural beauties, enjoy the fun, and discover the history and traditions of Boca del Rio, the best of the state of Veracruz in Mexico.
Thank you. Next, we'd like to invite our folkloric music guests to come up and present to us your talents.
Vaya, Monche. Muy buenos días, señores, señoras y señoritas, señoras y señoritas, muy buenos días, señores. A todas las jovencitas de nuestros amores, ay, que sí, que no de Boca del Río portamos. Ay, que sí, no. Un saludo muy decente, lo hacemos galantemente, porque muy pronto nos vamos y a todos los concurrentes muy buenos días les damos. De Veracruz a Alvarado tengo andada de esa región, tengo andada de esa región, de Veracruz a Alvarado. Ay, que sí, que no, ni la luna en su apogeo, ni el sol tan capacitado satisface mi paseo, como aquel que va al Alvarado de dar paseo y el trineo de este son tan afamado. Desentúmete, Monche. Ay, que sí, que no dicen que soy ocurrente, probando no me desvío delante de los presentes. Le canto sin desvarío porque en Utah hoy se siente presencia de Boca del Río. Así mero. Haz unos pasitos que sean marcados para que vean lo que es el baile del colacito. Bueno, tú les traduces para que es que va a marcar unos pasos para que vean más o menos el baile.
Okay. What he's going to do is to mark some tasks of the dance, steps. Okay? Yeah. So you can see how they dance.
Ponlas. Sí, para que vean.
Una muestra porque tú de ahí.
¡Eso! Amada Margarita, mujeres de Nicolás, te comen los tamales de carne de Alcatraz. Amada Margarita, mujeres de Don Simón, te comen los tamales de carne de ratón. Ahí viene. Suavecito, mío, para que no se me cansen. Bonita por delante, bonita por detrás. Ay, qué bonito baila la mujer de Nicolás. Bonita por delante, bonita de costado. Ay, qué bonito bailan las mujeres de Alvarado. Échenle bonito.
very much. I can't remember the last lecture here at the Kennedy Center where we've had dancing and music. So what a treat. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Muy bien hecho. I'd like to turn the time over now to the mayor's staff who wanted to answer any questions we have from the audience regarding business exchange with Boca del Rio or educational exchange. I know that my first question for your staff is what possibilities are there for more development of BYU students coming to Boca del Rio? Which institutions perhaps would be interested in this? I don't know who would be the best to answer this.
In English or Spanish? Well, thank you very much. First, I want to tell you, congratulations. You have a beautiful campus, beautiful school. It's amazing, the environment around here and the mountains. But we see your university, Brigham, as a possibility that we could exchange cultural, see the difference between our countries, because I think we have a lot to offer for a different kind of experience compared to most of the experience that some Americans try to find in Mexico. Boca del Rio is not a city that is designed to act for tourists. We have our own personality. We are together with Veracruz, which is almost 500 years old. Veracruz is, Boca del Rio is 19 years old, but we are together by our history and by our culture, and I think we could have something different regarding history, regarding a more honest impression of what we really are in Mexico, compared with other cities that are totally tourist-oriented. We have some private schools there, private universities, or public universities too, which I'm sure would be very interested in having programs. As a matter of fact, we already have some programs with people that are coming from other countries to spend a year with us. And I think it's the best way to erase borders between countries, cultures, learning their language. And that way we see that we are not so different, that we are the same people all over the world, and we share the same worries, same interests, and we are trying all together to make of our world a better place for everybody to live. And we are making this effort because we consider now, particularly with our visit with West Valley and the state of Utah, we think that we share opportunities that we could have in exchange different impressions for our students, our citizens, our tourists, because what I saw today is something that I never expected to see in my life. It's beautiful, and I'm sure the ocean, the sea, is something that we could offer you too. That's regarding geographic aspects of our environment. But besides that, I think it would be really good with business, having most of the time, Mexicans, when they think about doing business, they always think about California, Texas, and some other states that are very common with us. And the state of Utah is a lot closer than we think. We just had 3.5 hours of flight, and we are right here. And I think it offers a lot of opportunities for us to explore business, and we have some businessmen that are coming here with us to offer some products. But I think the most we visit, the most we know each other, I'm sure we can see a lot more opportunities that we could create together. And I don't know if you have some questions, because right now Mr. Mayor just dropped me right here to answer questions. But thank you. if you have any kind of questions that, if it's possible, or I would ask them, and I could tell you too. Our population, Boca del Rio, we are 250,000 people. We form, together with Veracruz and Medellin, we make a city of around 1 million people all together. And I don't know, any questions probably, if it's possible for me to answer, we could ask them too.
My voice carries Aaron. Microphone. Okay. Is it on? No. Okay. Whoa, that is loud. I'm interested in a couple of things. As a coordinator for internships, we are very interested in new sites in Mexico, especially what you've just described, because our students are interested in a true cultural experience, but they also come with a request to serve through English. Since you have businessmen here, one of the things that we train our students in is a phonics program that has business English glossary and is computer assisted. And if I would be very interested if there are any businesses that, since you do a lot with travel and hospitality or with business management, that maybe our students could be of assistance. They would come mostly spring, summer. They arrive the end of April and stay till the middle of August. And I just wondered if your schools are in session at that time, or if you're on vacation during that time, or if we need to have them come like September to December.
Well, normally the program starts in the first days of January.
Okay.
And in the end, around June.
June. Oh, so winter semester would work very well.
Exactly.
Our students could come in January to the middle of April.
That's right.
And then we could have another group come the end of April to the middle of June. One of the major concerns that we have had with some of the Mexican cities where they've gone has been the issue of safety. Most of the people that come are young women that are in education. And I'm gathering from your description that this is a smaller community than, you know, we've had them in the outskirts of Mexico City, and we've had them within Guadalajara. Do you see this as being that kind of a location where they could travel freely back and forth from school to their apartments and participate in cultural things in the city?
Okay, we are receiving right now a girl from the Czech Republic in our house, in our home.
Oh, good.
My daughter went for a year to the Czech Republic, and what we see is that Mexico is facing, we have to accept it, a situation with drug-related problems that had to be put on the side. Luckily, it's more concentrated in some northern areas, not more in our city. And what we see is if it's oriented to houses, homes, like that kind of exchange.
Host families.
Close, involving families, it will be on one side, it will give you a better impression of the families or the life in Mexico. And at the same time, the way we are doing it now, we could offer the security and the rules of the house too, because the kids have to accept the rules. And of course, if they want to go out, they can go out, but following the rules that we set for our own children too. But we feel pretty good about security, about safety in Boca del Rio, and I don't see a problem with that regarding that topic.
Okay, I appreciate that. On another completely different bent, my husband works for a company. He's general counsel for Generations Network, and they are a company that gathers genealogical data for not for the LDS Church. It's a completely online company, and they are looking for a location in Mexico where they could establish a data entry business involving around 800 employees. And so I didn't know which one of your large group would be interested in this, but I would be very happy to talk with them and give them the contact information. They have permission to access all of the material from Chihuahua, but they haven't been able to find a city there that could accommodate their employee needs. And so if there's this opportunity within the Veracruz Boca Rio area, I would be very interested to put them in contact with my husband's company. So
that would be great. You already have my card, and yes, if he goes there, we could find, show him whatever, and if he finds another place or area, we would be very glad to give all the information. Of course, in ourselves, we're not much related. We're newly related to politics. We are coming from the business. The mayor and myself, we were presidents of different businessman organizations, and we are very oriented to bringing investment and especially understanding what an investor needs to know and how to make things easier for you to invest here, not how to regulate more or how to create problems. That's not what we want to do. We understand the importance of opening new businesses there, and our job as political figures is to do our best to make the road a lot smoother so that you can. On Saturday, we're going to be here. If we could have a meeting or the information, we will be glad to answer as many questions as is necessary. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions from the audience or any other comments? Yes, right here.
Just as I spent 2 years in Cancun and lived there, and I know that a huge problem they have is because of their tourism. Now, you made a comment that Boca del Rio isn't so much focused on tourism as it is the culture and the experience and the learning. What are you doing to make sure that remains that way so that it doesn't, Boca del Rio, que no llegue a ser como una ciudad como Cancún, donde los jóvenes toman bastante y los turistas, they're just making it worse with their, what are the plans to keep it focused on culture and education as opposed to tourism?
Well, what we try to do is diversify everything. The situation with Cancun is a city that was created and originated mostly for the purpose of entertaining tourists. And they will do anything for tourists and act, restaurants and all that. We have a lot of activities. We have a very big, in Veracruz, port. It's the largest port in Mexico. It gives jobs for around 40,000 people there. We have industrial activity there. We have a lot of schools there in our area. And we are trying to diversify. So what we can offer you is the honesty that we are not changing to be more attractive to tourism or to act different from the way we act in our daily activities. We try to offer the honest impression of what we are, but we're not acting for anybody. We're not putting shows. We are just being ourselves. And we just want to get closer with different cultures and understand more about some other countries, and we want other countries to understand more about us.
I just have one more question. Obviously, at Brigham Young University, we have a lot of students here who have served missions, church missions in Mexico. For example, myself, I was in Yucatan, and I had a lot of friends that have gone to Veracruz. My question, Boca del Rio, what kind of influence does the church have there, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
Well, I'll tell you, you have a beautiful, very large church in Boca del Rio, and you have a very big presence in Boca del Rio, which there are a lot of mostly Catholic population there, but I think we have lived together and with no problem, and your community is growing bigger and stronger. day by day, and we respect them. We accept different ideas and different thoughts. We are, I think, religious people, everybody, and we have those values together that we share, and we don't have any situation. If something, we have had a very large growth there. And probably if you go there, you will see the beautiful church that you have in Boca del Rio, right? And a very important point of Boca del Rio.